South Texas residents join in nationwide No Kings rallies over the weekend. The city of Mercedes earns a state certification, and the late actor Chuck Norris wanted to be remembered for his impact in Texas. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Thank you for joining me on this Monday, March 30th. A reminder that Corpus Christi City Council will meet 2 weeks from tomorrow, April 14th. A council workshop with presentation and discussion regarding the City Council-approved drought contingency plan will be tomorrow morning at Council Chambers. Thousands of residents across South Texas participated in the nationwide No Kings rallies, joining about 3,000 demonstrations held across the country. In Corpus Christi, residents gathered along Ocean Drive and at Cole Park at a rally organized by Indivisible Coastal Bend, sharing their message.
I'm not happy about all of the atrocities that have gone on with the immigration, deporting citizens. I'm not happy with the war of choice in Iran that's costing us billions of dollars.
That was protester Jeannie Leonard, who spoke with 3 News. In Victoria, protesters lined up along Navarro Street in front of the Patty Dotson Health Center to protest actions of President Donald Trump and his administration.
Kings are allowed to just make war, okay? Kings are allowed to bomb civilians out of water, you know? Kings may be allowed to do a lot of things that Trump's doing, but Trump is not a king, and it's high time he started acting like a president of the United States.
That was protester Paula Knight speaking with 25 News Now. Rio Grande Valley residents also joined in the rallies to let their voices be heard. The Mothers for Democracy RGV organized a rally Saturday in McAllen where dozens of demonstrators stood outside the Benson Tower.
I hope that after this protest that everyone who's here, and we've got new faces that I've never seen before, which I love, I hope that everyone continues to be motivated and continues to be an activist, because that's desperately what we need to make change in this country.
That was organization chapter leader Stacy Solis speaking with Valley Central News. Polling this month has shown that President Trump's approval ratings are at an all-time low, ranging from the mid-30s to the low 40s. The city of Mercedes has been designated by the Texas Film Commission as a film-friendly Texas certified community. The Texas Economic Development and Tourism Office within the Office of the Governor announced the designation last week. Mercedes completed a multi-step training and certification process to earn the designation, according to a news release. Governor Greg Abbott congratulated the city for the designation and said ongoing film-friendly Texas training prepares communities to support media production. The training also adds on-site spending for local businesses. In Goliad, reenactors from around the country joined together over the weekend to share the story of the Goliad Massacre. The event was hosted by the Texas Historical Commission and held at the Presidio La Bahia.
It's one thing to put a slide up on the wall of what an artist thinks a soldier looked like back then. It's another thing to put it on.
That was history reenactor John Keehee speaking with 25 News Now. He participated as a member of the Mexican Army. Reenactors showed the Battle of Collido Creek, a musket rifle firing, and the actual death march prior to the massacre. The 190th anniversary of the Goliad Massacre was this month. In state news, the highly mutated COVID variant, informally known as cicada, has been detected in 25 states, including Texas. The strain was identified in South Africa in 2024. Like its insect namesake, the strain went underground for years before resurfacing this winter in Europe. Cicada is a descendant of the highly infectious Omicron variant. The cicada strain has dozens of mutations that may allow it to evade immunity from prior infection or vaccination. The cicada variant has been detected in wastewater in half of the country, but is still relatively rare in the U.S. Voting and civil rights groups are suing the state of Texas over what they say was an illegal purge of its voter roll. The Texas Secretary of State's office said last year it used a federal database to identify over 2,700 potential non-citizens who were registered to vote. The nonprofit Campaign Legal Center filed a suit on behalf of the League of United Latin American Citizens over the purging process. The groups allege it was done in a discriminatory and non-uniform way in violation of the National Voter Registration Act. The late Chuck Norris's legacy is multifaceted, spanning film, politics, and of course, martial arts. The legacy he wanted to be known for, though, was his impact in Texas. Houston Public Media's Michael Atkinson takes a look at the life and legacy of Texas icon Chuck Norris.
In his major film debut, Chuck Norris took on martial arts legend Bruce Lee. In the film, 1972's The Way of the Dragon, there's a stark juxtaposition between the Hong Kong legend and the hairy white American. More than 50 years later, Norris, who died March 19th at the age of 86, left a career that blended East and West, cowboy, and karate. And in the process, he became synonymous with Texas, in spite of the fact that he was born in Oklahoma. For 9 seasons, Cordell Walker, played by Norris, became a de facto mascot for Texas law enforcement.
I'm a Texas Ranger, Bolt. You're under arrest.
A lot of people, that's their first introduction to the Texas Rangers.
Christine Rothenbush is the marketing and development specialist at the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum.
Having such a talented actor as Chuck Norris play a Texas Ranger figure and become as popular as it was in the 90s is definitely a boost for the Rangers in getting people to learn a little bit about their organization.
The Texas Ranger Hall of Fame even has some props used by Norris during Walker Texas Ranger, like his badge and cowboy hat.
There is some truth and accuracy to everything, but there's also some Hollywood glamour. The Texas Rangers do not do roundhouse kicks.
He was a 10th degree black belt, inducted into the Black Belt Magazine Hall of Fame in 1968, before his film and television career. He even created his own style of martial arts, the Chuck Norris system, inspired by his Dong Soo Do training in Korea when he was in the military. Norris contained multitudes. He had a line of dog food and an artisanal water bottling company. He wrote Christian novels set in the Old West. Chuck Norris facts were all over Facebook in the early 2010s, playing up his machismo, like Chuck Norris can dribble a bowling ball, or
When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up, he pushes the earth down.
he even dabbled in politics. Leading up to the 2008 election, Norris wrote a book about his conservative politics called Black Belt Patriotism: How to Reawaken America. In it, he called for a return to American idealism and stronger border security, and criticized Roe v. Wade and the removal of Christian values from public life. Here's Mark Jones, a political science professor at Rice University.
From the very start, Norris was an outlier in Hollywood in that he was a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican, not common traits among much of the Hollywood elite.
In 2014, Greg Abbott enlisted Norris's help on his first gubernatorial campaign. Norris wrote a campaign email saying Abbott was the best candidate to fight the out-of-state attacks that aim to turn Texas blue. But the legacy Norris purportedly wanted to leave behind was his work with Kickstart Kids, a Houston-based nonprofit he founded to teach middle school students martial arts.
Those are the formative years for young people.
Diana Saavedra is the interim executive director for Kickstart Kids.
Through martial arts, we also weave in character. And so honesty, integrity, discipline.
Many of those instructors trained under Norris. Today, Kickstart Kids is in 58 schools in 14 school districts, including Houston, Fort Bend, and Galveston ISDs.
Yes, he's an actor, but at the end of the day, his want and his passion was to be able to offer martial arts.
I'm Michael Atkinson.
And in sports this weekend, starting with high school, the Robstown High School boys powerlifting team captured its first state championship in program history this past weekend at the Texas High School Powerlifting Association State Meet in Abilene. Also in sports, the Corpus Christi IceRays continue to get ready for the North American Hockey League playoffs. They split a series with the El Paso Rhinos over the weekend. They lost 5-2 on Friday at the Hilliard Center, then defeated the Rhinos 3-2 on Saturday. They face the Oklahoma Warriors on the road this Friday and Saturday. And in college sports, the Texas A&M-Corpus Christi baseball team earned a 5-2 win Sunday in the finale of its series with rival University of Texas-Rio Grande Valley. The win clinched the weekend set for the Islanders, now 3-8 in Southland Conference play. The Vaqueros dropped to 9-6 in the conference standings. The Islanders will face the Corpus Christi Hooks in an exhibition game tomorrow evening at Whataburger Field. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.